Good morning, good morning. How you doing? It is Wednesday, the 2nd of October. Meerkat Wednesdays, as I call it, because I'm looking at Monday and Tuesday and Thursday and Friday and like wondering how far I need to catch up on both sides of that. Last couple of days have been okay, a little bit slow. I've been waiting for things to be verified on Fiverr. Did a whole bunch of notes this morning in the old book of which ones I've got to step through. Two DTube posts today. This one about drop shipping and Shopify, and then I've done another one, a quick one about content economy of bricks and mortar and digital content on the web, which I think is kind of interesting for people who have a space, a physical space, and a business in a physical space, and how people are using social media, video, content to drive audience to not only the space but make a little bit of scratch money off the top of it. But I'll get that into the other video. I want to do this one's about drop shipping. So I've been looking at drop shipping for about 2.5 years now, and I probably should have jumped on this a couple of years back and stepped through the whole thing, set up the Shopify site, done all the SEO, add all the products, done all the kind of connections with Shenzhen and China and Taiwan, and find a good distributor and a good supplier and all of that stuff. But I just didn't do it because I have a few concerns about Shopify. One, obviously, is the monthly cost of it. You need to make it pay. And also, I didn't want to be somebody constantly just dealing with admin of that all the time. I wanted to find a business where we were the actual product, making the product and shipping that out. But then when we got too big, when we were trying to scale, then we would go out to one of these places, either Vietnam or Shenzhen, and find a good supplier who could make the product at a cheap price with all the packaging, and then ship all of that, the big bulk of it, just one order, maybe 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 items spread across obviously different SKUs into the country, into the US, and then distribute it from there as part of other projects like driving from place to place to place. And so it's taken 2 years to really sound that out, like what it looks like, how it's gonna come together. So in the last month, I would say I've been watching Dale do some mega work. Like every day we're on video chat, and she's been doing some mega work on her product. I'm not going to tell you what her product is or what she's working on. It's actually going to be a series of products, and it's mainly, I will give you a little bit of a thing. It's like traveler based. And we've been watching the market. We've been watching these Shopify sites, what's selling. We've been watching lots of video of how to get your product to market, how to set up your Shopify site properly. And we're getting to the point now where it's like we got to move on this at some point. But typical old man me, like with trying to apply more positivity than negativity to this, is that I see a lot of drop shippers and they kind of treat it as a career, like they have a fully fledged business, when really all I see them as is a middleman, is a distributor, right? They're going on to like AliExpress, and the product's like, I don't know, $5, and then they're selling it for like $40. So really, you're just an agent for a company, and you're just buying it cheap, dealing with all the shipping and distribution, which half the time you can get them to do anyway, and you can even get them to send it direct to the customer as long as there's a tracking code and everything, because you've got to supply that to your customer. And so really, I don't see it as a career or a business. Yeah, you're making some money, and I guess business is that you're buying something and selling it as a product, as a profit, but at what cost? Part of the products that Dale wants to make and part of the products that I want to make is I want to make them local. I want to make them sustainable. I want to make them so they don't damage the environment or even the people using them. So there's just, and it's not just because it's a trend, it's just because it's the right thing to do. You look at any product or brand that's been around for decades, the reason why they've survived is because of their legacy. I still don't understand how Coca-Cola get away with using so much water to make Coke, but there you go. It's absolutely everywhere. It's global brand, right? There's certain things that just somehow manage to get through and just stay around. Maybe it's because of like they've done so much good marketing on the fact that everybody can remember their first drink of Coca-Cola, right? That perfect Coca-Cola in a bottle. I guess there's so many parts to it: the design, the aesthetic, the legacy, where you were, the memory. They've done a really good job of like tying all that together. Anyway, I'm just waffling now. So I've been going through all of this stuff in terms of what it is to have a drop shipping site. What are we really trying to achieve? How do we want to run a lean business? Do we even need Shopify? And so recently, Fiverr just launched new industries around e-commerce and esports. And so as soon as I saw the e-commerce stuff, I was like, we've got to get on this at some point. If not from a perspective of stepping through, doing this, creating the graphics, getting the packaging, making the product, shipping some of this stuff out, literally walking through it all. And then obviously with the EU stuff happening with the UK and Brexit and all this shit, then you have to worry about all the GDPR stuff, which is like another bunch of stuff of things that I don't enjoy to do. And I don't really want to work with quote unquote business people in business suits for it. I like the creativity part of it. I like the discovery part of it. I like the idea of sourcing the materials and the optimizing part of like getting it at a really good price and then obviously selling it for a profit, but telling that whole story of getting it from one place to another place. So about 2 weeks ago, Dale found this amazing like project on Kickstarter. I think it's called Move. I'm not sure, but I think it's called Move. And they've picked 100 staple things that people buy all the time. They've repackaged it and they turn it into a subscription service. So it's and their aim is to open like hundreds of stores, I think across America to start with, where you have this card and you can go and get these like 100 staple things that you have either delivered or you can go and pick them up from these stores. And I thought that was really interesting that they've like crossed over from, you know, they're going to find artisan versions of those products, the best quality versions of those products, very minimalistic packaging. So a little bit like Brandless. If you haven't seen Brandless, go and check out Brandless. They're doing the way that they've done their packaging. They are a brand, but they say they're brandless because they removed all the design and everything. And it's interesting how aesthetics can create an environment for people to buy now. Like it's all part and parcel of it. It's very funny. Part and parcel. So we're trying to build this like high quality, sustainable, and ideally local delivery. I have this idea of just living in this electric van, driving around, delivering these products for people and providing that as a service as well. So what does dropshipping version 2, version 3 look like? I'm always trying to think of where something's going rather than where it is today. I know a bunch of people on YouTube like living that life. He's doing I think he's doing glasses. He's been selling glasses dropshipping for a few years. He's making a good business over there. He lives in Chiang Mai now. Very cheap to live out there. So a lot of these people who've never done this stuff before, had a bit of training, stepping through, and they're importing products from Shenzhen or Taiwan or Vietnam, and they're making good markups on it. But my thing that holds me back from getting into this and jumping into it, because I know I could do it, and I know Dale could do it, is can I really have an opinion about climate change? Can I actually say I'm concerned about it if all I'm doing is buying this, you know, cheap, probably low quality stuff just to flip it to make a profit on it? So I'm kind of stuck in between this environment right now of like wanting to launch a product that we've made by our hand locally. Obviously we have to buy the raw materials, and not all raw materials we're going to be able to buy in the same country that we're in. Sometimes we're going to have to import them because it's cheap to import it. So if we import it, do we buy bulk of it, and do we then track it end to end from the raw material to the end of its life? I feel like I want to be doing dropshipping version 2, version 3 rather than the version that exists today. And then I'm starting to think, well, all right, if I'm trying to predict where version 2 and 3 is going to be, then really I need to be thinking of crypto involved in that as well. So I need to be thinking of a stable coin that we can support as well. There's some great applications out there. One of them is Afterpay that Dale showed me, where if you're buying, say, something like $100 of product, you can split that price over 3 months. So you can use this Afterpay service and just pay them once a month for like 3 months and split the pay down for like $33 a month. It's a lot more accessible to buy that thing over 3 months than just the 1 month. So I was thinking, well, that's where we build in a similar service, but for crypto. So people can pay a little bit of crypto every month. So as long as there's a smart contract in place, then effectively, if you've got them on a smart contract every month where they're paying a little bit of crypto or they get their subscription service cancelled, I thought that was an interesting area to go into. Now, maybe we're biting off more than we can chew, and maybe we should just get started and then see how it goes. But because we've both got a small amount of money to be able to put into this, I'm trying to educate myself on a bunch of these things before I jump in. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at the moment, is that we're going back and forth over this dropshipping Shopify site. We're definitely gonna get a Shopify site, I'm sure of that, but I'm just trying to think of how much detail to go into it. I think the Shopify sites that have really good stories, really good graphics, really good layout. The first one that pops to mind is Hello Nomad. This company didn't exist a couple of years ago, and they just realized that Nomad was a big search term, and so they set up a whole like company around it, and now they're just cranking out products all the time. And they've got a great design, great support, and I'm sure they're making a ton of money. And there's no reason that you can't build something like that if you've got all the attributes in it. Dale's amazing at packaging, photography. I can do layout, I can do content, I can do like the text and the admin and the back end stuff and the server stuff. So at the minute, I'm fighting with myself in terms of what am I trying to build? Am I trying to build a business, or am I just trying to build, or is it just hobbyist to me because it looks good, it feels good? And does it affect my feelings about the climate, and should I like, how do I deal with them? How do I compartmentalize them? It's very difficult to like have an opinion about, because it generally gets to the heart of my soul when I think about what we're doing to the planet, and we're all contributing to that. So how do I alleviate that? How do I create a story? How do I create a product that people want, but in a sustainable way? And that always comes at a cost of time, or it's going to cost more than a product that's on the shelf. And then you have to fight the argument of like, yeah, but why would I buy your £6 product when I can buy it for £1? And people are like, I'm always going to buy the £1 one. It's a torment. That's what it is. It's a torment, and it torments me on a daily basis. Anyway, I will be posting more stuff about the dropshipping and the Shopify stuff on my Steam blog in the months to come. Definitely will have something set up before the end of the year, and as I step through the whole experience, I will be documenting it and putting it on YouTube as well. All right, you have a great day. I'm going to do another little video, shorter one, maybe 3 minutes, about bricks and mortar businesses and digital content discovery on the web after this one. I'll see you in a bit.
Drifting slowly into an empty space where I can go. I'm just a